Hello there, I'm Robert.
I'm Vanessa.
I'm Travis.
And we are late to the party, and it's another edition of
Better Late Than Never.
Remake Edition.
Remake.
Going through the remakes again that are all being released this year. And it's funny because when Travis told us the theme, I couldn't honestly come up with any of them. I mean, the only one that I came up with was probably one we're doing, which is Child's Play.
Yeah, you can guess them. So, interesting. You didn't think of Aladdin?
No.
Or
Until
Hustle, the Hustle?
Yeah.
Right, but until after we were like, oh yeah.
So what, are you saying you know what this one today's might be?
No clue,
No.
but if Child's Play isn't on here, I'm going to be a
It
little
could
upset.
be Child's Play, it could be because we just did Aladdin, it could be Lion King, because Lion King is coming out too.
That's right.
Well, this movie is being released July 19th of this year, directed by Jon Favreau.
John Favreau.
No, I say it.
Farva?
Favreau.
Go on.
So it is the Lion
The
King.
original
Okay.
movie was released June 15th of 1994 with a budget of
Okay, so it came out
$45
in
million.
94. So it was before Pocahontas, because Pocahontas came in 95. Anyways, keep going.
She's been thinking about this for a week.
I
For a
was.
whole week.
It was.
It made a box office of $968.5 million. Directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff.
That's almost $970 million.
This was the first Disney animated feature film to have an original story rather than be based on an already existing story.
Well,
No, that ain't
actually,
true. Actually, it
there
was...
was a
call me
movie
up.
Was
called
it
The White
Kimba the Lion?
The White Lion.
Oh!
Yeah, you forgot about
Oh!
that, didn't you?
But
I know.
But-
it's different.
Because you can't legally say it is.
It is different. It is different.
Hamlet.
It's Hamlet too.
This idea for The Lion King
Sure.
was conceived in the late 1980s during a conversation between Jeffrey Katzberg, Roy E. Disney, and Peter Schneider on a plane to Europe to promote Oliver and Company.
He's like, I just saw this cartoon, and you know what? We should totally rip it off.
Well.
Keep
There was a treatment that was written called King of the Kalahora.
You're gonna say King of the Wicker People.
Afterwards, someone else spent another year writing some drafts, which had titles of King of the Beasts and King of the Jungle. So here's an interesting thing, though. When this movie was being developed, it
Sure.
was being developed the same time as Pocahontas. Everybody wanted to work on Pocahontas because most animators thought this movie about lions and stuff were going to fall flat and it's stupid, and really, who's going to watch this film? Makes no sense. So, the music, do you guys remember who did this?
Hans Zimmer.
Well, Hans Zimmer did the
Tim
score.
Rice was
Yeah,
working...
but it was his score that they turned into the music.
Essentially.
Or did Hans Zimmer turn his score into from their music?
It was all a combination of Elton John
or
and
the
Hans Zimmer
chicken.
together.
So, the lyricist, Tom Rice, was originally working with...
Tim Rice?
That's what I said.
You said,
You said Tom. Keep going, Travis.
going.
I love it.
He was working with Alan Menken
Sure.
on the songs for Aladdin, and so they invited him to do songs for this movie.
Yes.
So, but Mr. Rice said, I want a strong person to go with it, so that's why they got Elton John.
There's a circle of life.
So, because of Elton John, this is the only soundtrack for an animated film to be certified Diamond 10 times platinum
Jeez.
by the Recording Industry Association of America.
Dude, I listened to
because
that
of
tape
Elton
over and over.
John.
So, do you know who other actors were considered for the role of Scar?
No.
No, but I'm interested and intrigued. Go on.
Malcolm McDowell was one of them.
Absolutely. That makes sense. He's definitely got a very sharp tongue.
Yeah.
voice.
Another gentleman would have done it, but he had scheduling conflicts with another movie. Tim Curry was up for the role to do the voice of that.
I could see that too. Yeah.
But he had another movie called Home Alone 2 Lost in New York that
Oh,
he
yeah.
was in. That
Have a lovely day.
but of course we all know it ended up going to Jeremy Irons.
Amazingly
Yes.
chosen.
So-
So good though.
Yeah.
Let's watch this trailer that stars, Matthew Broderick, Nathan Lane,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Mr. Carosi.
Rowan Atkinson, Ernie
name.
Sabella, Mr. Carosi. Ah! Mama! Let's see how similar it is to the other one, because it's almost shot for shot.
Right.
It always reminds me of Congo.
I like that James.
How come they don't look like Timon? They look like actual meerkats. Timon looks like a character.
The lion is coming.
He was born to rule. Everything the light touches
Is our kingdom.
What about that shadowy place?
That's Tucson, you mustn't go.
You must have gone.
Oh no!
Another hard
Oh
level.
my god, this is like the that was in the live action trailer too.
Cheech Marin?
Hey, what's in you?
I don't want to talk about it.
He's at the top of the food chain.
Say brownish gold.
No. I mean, he's depressed.
Anything we can do?
Not unless you can change the past.
He grew up hoping to leave his old life behind. I know who you are. You're Mufasa's
Robert
lion.
Guillaume.
King.
Rest in peace.
Have
The
you
monkey's his
had
uncle?
your lions crossed?
I know your father.
He died a long time ago. No,
Huh?
wrong again. He's alive. Then show him to you.
Kind of sounds like the
So-
Rocketeer.
Basically saying that he lives in you.
You are my son.
God, spoils, man. They're giving us the whole movie.
They are.
You must take your place.
Remember who you are.
It's a legendary tale.
Look at that swooping shot from Zazu.
Plus dozens of wonderful new characters. Why do I open
They call
To
me
save your
Miss
Original music and songs by Grammy winner Elton John and Academy Award winner Tim Rice.
Hans Zimmer.
And Hans Zimmer did the score. Such a good score too.
Got an Oscar out of it, right?
Sure did.
You'll never forget.
That focus switch. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, the Lion King.
The Lion King. Quickly, before we get into more discussion, would
Sure.
you see it based upon this trailer?
Absolutely, and
I did.
Okay, moving on. So,
Lion
The
King.
Lion King.
Yes. So I remember going and seeing The Lion King at this old theater that no longer exists on Grant. And I remember when they had a big inflatable lion on the top of the building and you went to go see it and I got my little popcorn and my drink and I was all ready to go.
Feet not even getting off the seat.
Nope, exactly. I loved The Lion King so much too during that time that I actually named one of my boxers at the time Simba.
Sure.
You named your underwear Simba?
My boxer dog.
Oh, that makes more sense.
More sense.
Yeah, his name was Simba, is what we called him, because he was the same color as Simba, and I was like, let's name him Simba.
And we ended up watching it all together, my family and I, at the Foothills Theater here in Tucson. And I just remember it was a sold out show. When that first hit,
Made
like
me
so
jump
many
just
other
now,
people,
huh?
yeah. When so many other people there too, it was just like from beginning to end, we were just smacked with it, and it was an amazing movie to the point where we ended up buying the cassette tapes. And it's funny because around that time I was mostly just listening to soundtracks anyways, so whenever I'd go into Target I'd find the soundtrack section of the cassette tapes and just buy stuff there. This was the one that we actually recreationally listened in the car nonstop over and over,
I had the cassette
the
tape
whole
as well.
family.
Yep.
And it was not like, it was weird for me because normally I was the one just listening to the soundtracks, but here's everyone listening
sure
to beginning
a lot.
to end, both sides.
It's so funny when I watch this movie, and there's a part that it shouldn't crack you up as much as it does, but it does to me because it cracks my mom up like every single time that it happens, because it's the part where Scar is like king now, and you have the three hyenas going in, and he's like, I wish Mufasa was here, and he's like, what did you just say? He's like, que pasa? And my mom cracks up every single time that happens, so every time I watch it, I'm just like, because my mom.
That's funny.
Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, and I forgot who plays Ed.
It's
Roger Rabbit, right?
no, I thought it
No.
was
I don't remember. I can't remember. Is it Darkwing Duck and Winnie the Pooh? Jim Cummings?
Yes.
Is it Jim?
Jim
Okay.
Cummings, yes,
All right,
yes,
good.
yes,
I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I
I
remembered.
was like, what is his name?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, Jim Cummings. Cast, amazing cast,
Amazing cast.
made it quotable. All the
Yes.
toys. I remember. I even do you remember how like the Disney store would have toys, but nobody really wanted to buy them because they were like just weird, non-movable figures, mostly for display. Like. Went and bought those figures because that was all we could get. There was nothing else, and it was like just played with those because you had no choice. But I feel like they could have dominated in the marketing if they were to dish out more toys and stuff. They did.
Burger King and all those toys they got through there. It was huge.
I had a bunch of posters in my room of Lion King too, and I had the one particularly
Of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yes, no. It was Mufasa, and then you had Simba on him.
Okay.
So I had that one in my room.
My sister had the theatrical poster that was out at the time up in her room, and she also even had little stuffed Simba. So you're right, there was plenty of marketing, but I was an
lunchbox.
action figure kid. Okay, I need them to be posable, and that's not what they gave us when it came to any of the figures from Disney.
I had the lunchbox too. So
Yeah.
everything.
This movie could have been way different though, because originally it was supposed to be between the lions and the baboons, with Scar leading the baboons.
Really?
And Rafiki was going to be a cheetah, and Timon and Pumbaa were just Simba's friends. So it's crazy how you see how it translated over, and of course, clearly it was a better way this way.
Of course.
And this, everyone loved The Lion King. The fact that it spawned sequels, a TV show, a massively successful Broadway musical show.
Yes.
Of course.
My favorite Disney movie cartoon sequel ever made is Lion King
1.5.
Yeah,
100%.
that's
Love it.
pretty good. I love that too because you kind of go behind the scenes, even though it's like behind.
It's what had happened while The Lion King was going.
Right.
They're singing,
With
you know,
Timon
I can't
and
just wait to
Pumbaa.
be king. Quiet down up there! It makes them fall over.
It gives you the behind the curtain of what's taking place in the
Why
original
things-
Lion King.
why
It's a very
Yeah.
interesting take that they did for that one too, and I know that they
Weather's
came,
coming in. It's getting dark. Clouds.
that they came out with other things just recently too with Simba's Pride and
Right, the Lion Guard.
the Lion Guard.
Guard,
Yep,
right.
there you go. And so, yeah, I mean, Lion King is probably one top tier. When you think of Disney movies, you think of the Lion King. So
And then getting, I think the biggest thing to come out of The Lion King, at least in terms of musicals and Broadway, is Nathan Lane. Like Nathan Lane, to me, I feel like Lion King was it. That was the one
Yes.
that trajectory shot him into the
Absolutely.
echelons of Tony Award-winning, performer, and his partnership with Matthew Broderick.
right.
As a kid, I didn't know who any of these actors was. He stood out.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan Taylor Thomas did because I watched Home Improvement.
Right.
But I didn't know who this guy was who was doing his voice. And I remember looking and finding out it was Nathan Lane and kind of seeing other things. And when he started coming up in roles like The Birdcage or The Producer, stuff like that,
course.
I just would want to see it because I've loved him so much and how he was done in The Lion King.
Can we also talk about how this also had a really difficult
Death.
no, that too. I cry every single time, but I'm saying for the video game.
Yeah, the level with the
Stampede,
wildebeest.
the level,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So
It's
hard.
another Disney game I could never get past certain
Beat it.
levels, and I just
Funny
get
thing with
frustrated.
that,
It's
Sega Genesis,
ridiculous.
I used to have to pause it, and then I'd go and go to the movies and do stuff and come back and play it because it's the only way I was
Did you
able
get
to
the
beat
burn?
it. I didn't, but I did end up beating all those Sega games, including The Lion King. Throwing Scar off the top of that freaking Pride Rock is so hard to do because he just lunges at you, and you got
You
to
have
get it
to-
just right and
yeah.
then toss him
But
off.
it was a good game, though,
Amazing game,
especially
yeah.
with
Yeah.
when you're trying to run with
Uh-huh.
them, and it's trying to dutch with Simba. You're just great.
Cinematically as well, those effects that they did in the animation, especially in those scenes, were
Which is-
top notch. That just you hadn't seen really up until that era of animation.
Which is kind of interesting when you think about it, where there's a lot of games that come out and it's like word for, or shot for shot for the movie.
Right.
It's kind of like those games don't do very, very well because
Right.
they're not as good. And for them to come out with like the Aladdin, Lion King, and they were kind of shot for shot basically, it's a good...
Yeah.
It's not a it's a hard feat to get to. So
And they conquered it at
But they
that
did it-
time.
yeah,
and
they
still
did.
have yet to be able to conquer it in terms of Disney games. Because,
Right.
I mean, the closest
Although
thing you
our
get is
expect-
Kingdom Hearts.
Our
Yeah.
expectations are much higher than they were back
That's
then.
true.
True, but still, you got to make it
Speaking
work.
of expectations, though,
Yeah.
there are large shoes to fill with this upcoming new release of the movie.
Oh, but the thing is that if they can translate certain emotions over from the first one, for instance, we were talking about The Saddest Death, Mufasa. Seeing Mufasa die again is going to make you blubber. Seeing the Timon and Pumbaa do dances and singing is going to make you happy. So I feel like those shoes will be filled because they will hit the right emotional note.
But I also think, though, too, that what sells Mufasa's death is Simba's reaction to it.
Yeah.
Dad! World
You're
of Color.
making me cry right now.
God
so
dang,
sad.
World of Color. Every time
I know,
they
every
did that, it's
single
just
time.
like, Niagara Falls.
Basically.
But-
I'm like, no, it's just the mist that's coming off of the shooting water.
But Jon Favreau knows what he's doing when it comes down to making these, you know, just heavily
John's
advanced
very
CG.
good about being
animals.
honest to the source material, so I think he'll do a good job.
I know that a lot of people are complaining because it seems like it's just a shot for shot, and they're like, why am I going to go watch a movie that I've
It's
already
just better
seen
animation.
before?
I said that
Yeah.
myself.
But it's very, I mean, I still want to go see it because I want to see how he can take these characters and this movie and create a like updated version as far as the graphics go.
Right.
As far as it being live action, you know, animated, because obviously it's just computer animated there.
And that's the main reason why I want to see it as a spectacle. I want to see the spectacle of the animation and how it's advanced from where it was to where it is now.
I also want to see how these new cast of actors and actresses take on these roles as well, especially for Simba. And I mean, we've got Mufasa back, so
Yeah,
he's
James
back.
Earl Jones.
But I'm interested to see Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, because you know when you think of Scar, you think of Jeremy Irons.
Right.
So
Maura Kelly, replaced by Beyonce Knowles.
Right.
Which we know that she's a whole lot of woman. So she's been in movies before and she's done a great job
right,
too.
she has.
So bringing her acting skills as well as her singing skills.
So you have that too, and then of course you've got Donald Glover
Yeah.
as an older version of Simba, and he has those singing skills and singing abilities too. And then of course Timon and Pumbaa.
Poopa.
Pumbaa.
That's why he stinks, is, you know? That's why he has no
Timon
friends.
and Pumbaa.
Travis, not in front of the kids.
But just you see, because it's Seth Rogen and Bill Eichner.
Yeah, Billy
To
Eichner.
see them, because you know. You can never really replace Nathan Lane and Ernie Savella, so
course.
it will be interesting to kind of see them, and then of course
But they'll try.
John Oliver as Zazu,
not
so
Rowan Atkinson. So
it's just I want to see it because of that, to see how they
course.
take those
different
characters.
translation, a different era, and I think, of course, it's going to probably make $1 billion. But Lion King, definitely one of the fan favorites of all of us and everybody. That's why it's doing so well in terms of reception for everybody watching it. Just it becomes heartwarming.
Decades
once again.
later.
Of course, so much
About
later.
when they got the VHS, you got
Yeah.
the DVD, you got the special edition DVD when it came out, you got the
platinum edition
you got the
DVD.
diamond edition, you got the platinum edition. We have the Walt Disney collection version that just came out with the steelbook, you know. So we have those.
And we are fans, and we can't wait to watch the new Lion King. But what did you guys think of the Lion King when it came out? Like we did for Aladdin, tell us what's your favorite Lion King song down in the description below. You can also like and subscribe. We are almost to 50,000 subscribers, so let's hit that subscribe button to keep that number going.
Yes.
But you can also do the thing.
On our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
All the social networking. Jinjo and Tino where they are. Kicking the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Gets us where we need to go. We are a week away from Phoenix Fan Fusion. May 23rd through the 26th. Tons of people going to be there. Tons of actors are coming. We're going to take a picture with Jeff Goldblum and Paul Ribbons. Not together, but that would be awesome. But look for us when you guys are there. Thank you so much, and as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over. Bye. Cause life and it moves us all.